welcome to another edition of Paydirt Remote. I'm Dominic Piper, your host. Today I'm joined by Bardoc Gold CEO, Robert Ryan. Thanks for joining us, Robert.
Hello, Dominic. It's a pleasure to join you.
Robert, Bardoc had a PFS out recently for your namesake gold project in West Australia. First of all, I must ask, are you happy with the outcome of the PFS?
Yeah, it's actually been a fantastic PFS. So one of the big things that we've been focusing on is combining our three cornerstone deposits at Aphrodite, Zoroastrian and Excelsior, and determining how that's going to look in a combined project based at Bardoc.
When you were putting it together, what were the key objectives and which numbers were you most eager to see when the results came back?
We wanted to see a long life project that was going to offer quite a high margin in terms of all-in sustaining costs an ounce. So to see those numbers come out at the back end at $1,220 an ounce, all-in sustaining costs, it's a fantastic financial metric. And then to see the life of 8 years of a project that ticks a lot of boxes along that way. And as we start looking at the ounce production, well, that's just came out the back end, and that's fantastic as well with 135,000 ounces average production and getting up to a peak production of 150,000 ounces for 5 years. So the metrics of the project have been really robust. And when we start looking at the gold production and all-in sustaining costs in a rising gold market, I think there's a lot of opportunity for investors at Bardoc Gold.
How's Bardoc going about trying to ensure that this project is robust enough to see you through, not just to production, but through several years of mine life?
I guess the big thing, if you look at where we've learned from the mistakes of not only other miners, but also when you have a look at the history of Bardoc Gold and how Bardoc was formed. There's been Excelsior Gold, which was merged with Aphrodite Gold to essentially become Bardoc towards the end of 2018. Excelsior Gold did have a few issues in and around the mining and under reconciliation of their ore zones, which is quite common within the industry. And a lot of that has to do with maybe being a little bit too aggressive in some of the geological modelling. When we start having a look at Bardoc Gold, and before I joined the project, I wanted to have a look at the technical detail of the project and went through the geological models. And one of the big things, and I can point it so investors can see for themselves, is Excelsior Gold used to quote about 470,000 ounces as an open pit resource at the Excelsior open pit. We currently quote about 330,000 ounces. So we've built that conservatism into our models. We know that the likelihood of these models performing is going to be exceptional. And I think more than likely what we're going to see is an over-reconciliation of ounces when we go into production. 80% of our mine plan is going to be in indicated material. We want to increase that number. So we've planned a drill program targeting a lot of the underground material in the plan, looking to convert as much of that as possible into a mining reserve. That's going to add into the project longer term. With what's happening in the moment with the whole coronavirus and the whole pandemic, it is putting a hindrance on some movements of personnel, but we still want to progress through to DFS studies as soon as possible. So our target for that, it's a moving target at the moment, depending on what's going on, but we want to focus all our efforts and all our monies at the moment into progressing our DFS.
What about the metallurgical side of the project? I noticed looking at the PFS release, your flow sheet's slightly different in that you're looking to produce a gold concentrate as well as a doré bars. Why have you chosen to go down this route? It's not a usual one for a WA gold project. There's
a big hole in the market now where people are seeing extreme amounts of value in gold and concentrate and being able to sell that. And the payables that we've been quoted by traders are exceptional. So it doesn't make sense to be able to turn around and build a high capex solution at the front end of the project when you can ship a gold and concentrate offshore and get high payables and just as better recoveries that are just as good as what you're going to get through a normal plant. And then, you don't have to spend the capital. So for us, the option's a bit of a no-brainer. We've progressed it over the last 12 months. And the more that we keep on doing with the concentrate sale process, the better the metrics become. So we want to have a look at now is further met test work. We'll produce probably around anywhere from 50 to 100 kilos of gold concentrate. and we'll have a look at marketing that through various traders to get the best terms for our shareholders in terms of a concentrate offtake agreement.
Have you got a set idea of how you'll finance this project?
Yes, we've actually engaged Bernvois Corporate Finance, who are a boutique firm who've got a speciality in debt financing as well as equity financing. And they did a lot of work with our current board at Pilbara Minerals. Now, when you start looking at Bardoc Gold, we have a pre-production capital component of about 142 million. And we're very confident in that 60-40 debt equity ratio in being able to get finance. Now, with the amount of indicated we already have in a mine plan and the large amount of reserves we already have, we're quite confident in being able to get that 60% debt funding for the project.
What's your strategy around maintaining investor interest in a challenging environment like that? Can't be easy for a junior.
Oh, and I don't think there's a lot of people in the same boat, and I don't think it's going to be easy any step of the way. Look, when you've got a gold project with 790,000 ounces in reserves, it's probably one of the best undeveloped gold projects in Australia. So for us to go out and market that is an easy story to sell to people. We just got to get out there and start spruiking it, as they say.
Yeah, certainly. Whenever you're considering how to market a project and how to keep interest among the investment community, there's obviously a corporate component to that, and the rumours of M&A are never far from the surface in the WA gold sector. Have you seen much corporate interest from peers and larger companies?
Oh, look, I guess there's always going to be interest, especially when the share prices, a lot of the junior projects are suppressed as what they are. The one thing that we want to focus on at Bardoc is we've got a strong project on our own merits. We want to keep on pushing forward and develop as it is. But I guess one of the benefits that we have is Kalgoorlie's got a large disjointed ownership. There's lots of small holders within the region as well. So there's opportunity for us, not only as an M&A target, but targeting smaller producers who are struggling to raise capital or who have the potential small resources that might add value to the Bardoc project itself. So we'll continue to assess all opportunities as they present themselves.
Robert, thanks very much for your time today. Good luck with progressing the project and the DFS when you eventually get onto it. And hopefully we'll see you before the end of the year with a project that's looking even more robust than it currently is. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dominic.